Hey, my name is Kinga. I'm making YouTube videos to document for myself, some of my friends, and whoever decides to watch this, how I reinvent myself and my life after divorce. In this video, I want to share with you the 6 most common things that I've come across guys tend to lie about on their dating profiles, and I also want to give you some tips on how to spot those liars. And when I say online profiles, I don't actually mean the very popular swiping apps one, because there you don't really have a proper profile. You just have maybe location, maybe age, and lots of photos. Those are not my thing. I'm a Virgo. I like to overanalyze everyone and everything. I need data, I need information. So for me, what works best is if I just use the proper old school dating websites, where apart from the photos you have a full-length description, and just by looking at the description you see that are they serious, have they taken the time, can they express themselves in writing, like can they put a fucking sentence together, because some of them cannot. And of course I look at the photos too, but I don't want the photos to be priority. So I just need data and I need photos, and if I like it, I'm willing to talk to the guy. And up until now, I've been really naive, to be honest with you, because I just thought that whatever people put on their dating profile is the truth, because that's how I do it. But apparently, no. Guys like to lie about some stuff, and probably women too, I just don't really have experience dating with women. So what I found, the most common thing that guys lie about, and luckily this actually never happened to me, but I heard it from other women, is their height. Mark, where are you? Mark? Mark? You didn't show up? Oh, there you are! Don't do it. Don't lie about your height. It's stupid. I mean, why would you do it? Because if you have the intention to meet up eventually, then why the fuck would you lie about how short or tall you are? And how can you tell if he lied about his height? Well, go on a fucking date with him, so you'll see. But if you're like me and you just want to make sure that you don't end up going on a date with a shorter guy, then here's what you can do. Ask him a couple of times, just to double check, is he sticking to the same picture, to the same original height that he gave you? And also look at the photo, like try to spot something on the photo or on his photos, like an object or another person, and just try to guess from that. Here's a trick of mine. This is what I use. It's a bit hard to explain, but this is what I do. I generally believe that the size of our head, first of all, doesn't really change much throughout our lives. So that's why we have like giant heads when we are kids, compared to our body. And then as we age, our body grows. And also I think that the size of our head doesn't really differ so much between people to people, from people to people. So what I have recognized on photos is you look at the size of their head, and if compared to their head they have like kind of a smaller body, narrow shoulders or shorter arms and shorter legs, then probably he's a shorter guy. Now, if everything looks in proportion, then he's gonna be around 175 centimeters. This is just what I've seen so far. And if he has like longer arms and longer legs, then he's gonna be a taller guy. Number 2, age. Well, Robert, he put 49 on his profile, which I already thought was too old for me. And then when we were talking, I just asked him, so what's the plan? What's the big plan for your big 50 coming up? That's when I found out that he was actually 52. But we like Robert, so we forgive him. He actually looks way better than any other guy at his age. He even looks very, very, very good for, even 45. He could have said 45, I could have believed him. So the thing is, I think he just wanted to make sure that he can come up in better searches. His intention was not to lie. And also, just 3 years, what the fuck. But what can you do to spot these liars? How can you prevent? That's a hard one. Just don't worry about it, just don't worry about it. Meet them, check their ID. Age is just a number, they say, so it's not a big thing. Number 3, relationship status. Oh my god, now that can hurt, you know, because some of them are going to put single while they are not. But I think the most common one for guys who are not single yet they want to look available is to say that they are in an open relationship, or their status is complicated, or they are currently separated. That can still mean that they are still married. Now, how can you spot these liars, and how can you make sure that you don't end up dating one of these? Again, this is pretty hard. I would do a thorough Google search, like, you know, really dig deep and try to get whatever information you can get. Try to find them on social media, especially Facebook and Instagram, you know, is there any woman in the picture? Number 4, jobs. Really, I really don't know why guys lie about their jobs. Is it because they want to hide something, or they want to appear something more? I have zero idea. There was this guy, let's call him Sam, okay? I actually met Sam on Bumble. I know I told you about me not using swiping apps, but I used it that time just to test it out. And we started to chat. We actually called each other a couple of times. We had great conversations, and he was even giving me stories of how his day has been as a firefighter. But there was something fishy about it. The reason why I felt suspicious is because he just looked skinny. Like, I didn't really see photos of him, you know, with t-shirts on or something. I think he was wearing long sleeve stuff, but you know, I was kind of getting a picture that he's got skinny arms, and I'm like, you know, skinny arms, firefighters, they don't really go well together, right? So you would assume that a fighter is, you know, muscular, strong. They have a strong core, and he just didn't look that kind of guy. So I was a bit suspicious, and I did some Google searches, and the thing is, I only had his first name, nothing else, okay? So what I did, and I wasn't even sure if he was using his real name, right? So what I did is I was looking at the photos, and a couple of the photos looked like they were from a modeling photo session. So I asked him that, was he modeling? And he said, yeah, he was doing a favor to one of his friends, taking photos. So I did Google image search, and I found more photos from the same session, and I found the full credit list, you know, who's the photographer, who's the model, who's this and that. And that's where I found his full name. And from his full name, I could look him up on LinkedIn, and I saw that he was not a firefighter. I cannot really translate this to English from Swedish, to be honest with you, but he did some administrative stuff at a prison. No idea why he had to lie about that. Ladies, if you're suspicious about anything, ask them. Ask them once, twice. If you're still suspicious and you're not feeling that you're getting the proper or the right or the true answer, do some Google searches, you know, especially if you're planning to meet up. It's just good to make sure that you're meeting the guy that you think you're meeting. Google, LinkedIn, Facebook, these are your friends. Number 5, kids. Now that's really fucked up to lie about. There was this guy, Wilbert. I don't actually know if he changed his profile in favor of my what I'm looking for description, where I actually put it out clearly that I don't date guys with kids. So is that the reason why he changed it on his profile to say he doesn't have any kids? I don't know. Or maybe he just lied about this to everyone. I just had this very strange inner feeling inside that I had to ask him, even though it was written on his profile, no kids. I don't know, seriously, it was just coming from within. So when we were still chatting, you know, in writing, I asked him, do you have any children? And he said no. So normally, you know, you wouldn't feel the need to ask it again, right? But for some reason, when we were on the phone talking to each other, again, I felt the need to ask it. So I just asked again, so you have no kids, right? And he said no. And I believed him. And we clicked, we had a nice connection, we were talking for a couple of days, and then for whatever reason I felt like I had to end it. So I did, so we didn't actually meet up. But after that there was this question mark still inside me, and I felt this quest calling me. I had to find out, is it true that you really didn't have a kid? And it was kind of easy to Google him because he was a professional basketball player in Europe for, I don't know, 10 years or so. So it was easy to find information on him, and I did. And I found out that yes, he has a son who he left when kid was 1 year old. I'll be honest with you, it kind of broke my heart. It broke my heart for the woman who was left behind with the child, and it broke my heart for the child. And how can you spot a liar like this? Again, I mean, I can't tell you enough that you need to do Google searches sometimes. Don't be scared. You're not gonna look like a paranoid bitch having to Google everyone. But I just think that, you know, in this world where everyone tends to lie about stuff and you just want to make sure that you believe whatever they say, you know, sometimes it's just inevitable. You have to Google them. And also, listen to your intuitions. Listen to what your heart is telling you. Last one, number 6. Can you guess? You probably cannot. Disability. That's right. I heard stories from other women who said that there was this guy in a wheelchair, and he was completely hiding it. It didn't show up on the photos. They had a great connection. They met up, and it was a shocking new information to the woman, understandably. And then the guy was frustrated and upset about why she was upset about him not telling her this. Well, you know, this is just not an information you want to hide. Also, if you're the disabled person, just to protect yourself, you want to make sure that the other person knows and they are still happy and, you know, or more than happy to see you. And so you know before the meeting that this is not something that's going to be an issue to her. And you can imagine that for someone to meet up with someone who has disability, it can be a shocking news, you know, because this is just something that they were not counting on, something that they didn't know. Maybe they even felt like they were lied to. That could be it. Now, my story with John was a bit similar, but not so dramatic, because I kind of knew that something was up, something was wrong. But he only told me that he had, you know, for a long while, he only just mentioned that he had an accident and he's got a limp. And I think he was trying to hold the truth, the real information, to the very last minute before we actually met. So he somehow revealed it to me that he had polio when he was a kid, and it affected his left leg. But I didn't really know the seriousness or the level of it, you know, until we actually met. And I'll be honest with you, it was pretty shocking for me to see, because it was not just a gangster walk, as he calls it. It wasn't just a slight limp that he had. You know, it was pretty obvious. And also when I saw his leg, it was kind of shocking. It didn't, you know, I wasn't disgusted or any of those, no, but it was shocking because it was something I've never seen before and I wasn't prepared for it, you know. But I still thought that he's a fantastic guy. We had a great time. I still like him. We're still good friends. We talk every day. I still adore the guy, but I would believe that maybe this is something that if you're just meeting someone online, you should maybe give more information on, or, you know. But I can also understand the frustration on their side, that this is not something that they define themselves by. This is not, you know, how they want to put themselves out there, that, hey, I'm this and that, the disabled guy. I can totally understand it, but I think you can avoid getting into uncomfortable situations if you're a bit more open and honest. Now, this was my list of 6 common things that guys tend to lie about, according to my experience and my female friends' experiences. But I'd love to know your experience if you, as a woman, if you happen to find out other things that guys lied about after you went on a date with them or even before. And also, if you're a man, please share with me or with us what are the things that you found women tend to lie about. I would also love you to like this video if you liked it. If you don't, then don't. And you could also subscribe to my channel. Did you know that? You can also click on the bell sign so you get notified every time I release a new content. Hope to keep in touch. Take care. Bye. If you want a more intimate content and daily communication, please go and join my Facebook group called Kinga, Kremer and Friends.